All right. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So today you're gonna be doing the 8 and 9 Google slides. So you're just gonna be taking notes. So translations with coordinates. So which are possible. If you can move the black shape up and down and left and right, but without spinning, stretching, or flipping, which of these shapes could you match exactly? Okay, so starting from the original. All right, so if you can move the black shape up and down, left or right, without spinning it or stretching it or flipping it, which one of these would be that? So again, you're writing this in your journal or like you're just writing it on a piece of paper or in your notebook. So if you don't have a notebook, you need to make sure that you take care of that now because you're gonna need it more often as we go along. Okay, so thinking about this one, this is going to be sorry, my pen wasn't working. Okay, it'd be things like if we went from here to here, that just slid over. Okay, if we went from the original to B, we just went left and down. So these are right, sorry. And then if we went from the original to up, that would be right. Now D, we actually rotated, right? And we flipped it and did some stuff. So translation means to move. So if I were taking notes, I would write this down. This would be the title of my notes. So translate figures onto the coordinate plane. Okay. Best practice is to title your notes up in the right-hand corner. Okay, so this will be in your Desmos activities. If you didn't join Desmos yesterday, go into your Google Classroom, okay, and just join the Desmos links there. I know some people were having a hard time joining yesterday. So if you go into your Google Classroom, here are the Desmos links in here. Okay, and if you just click on it one time, it'll already be there. So sorry. Okay, so you're gonna do this exploration with the Desmos, okay? So you're just gonna answer these questions as you go along. There's only like 10 problems, okay? Translations. Translations are a geometric transformation that moves every point of a figure or a space by the same distance in a given direction. Okay, so for instance, this is translate 6 units down. Okay, so what you're gonna do here is you're gonna take each point and translate it 6 units down. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's now going to be C prime. Okay. I would suggest writing out the coordinates as well. So C is 1, 1. Okay. And I know a lot of people struggle with coordinate points. So this point right here is over 1, up 1. That's how you read that. Okay. Now that we've moved it down to here, that's over 1 and down -5. That's how you read that. Okay. And notice how we moved it 6 units down. So between 1 to -5, that's 6 units down. Okay. Let's take a look at point A. So let's identify it first. So that's 3, 5, 3, 5. And we're going to move this one down 6 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that'll be our new point. So that's going to be 3, -1. Okay. B is already located at 4, 2. Okay, and if we move that 6 units down, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's going to be located at 4, -4. Okay, so here's my new image. Boop, boop. And I'm sorry, the lines aren't straight. I apologize. Okay, so all I did was took the image and I shifted it down 6 units. So what I'd like for you to do is take a look at the next one. Okay, I want you to go ahead and identify the pre-image coordinates. So looking at this stuff, identify those coordinates, and then we're gonna move the 5 units to the right in just a second. So take a moment, identify. I would suggest pausing the video. All right, so hopefully you pause the video. If you didn't, go back and pause it, try to figure these coordinate points out. So -5, 5 is D, -2, 4 is E, -1, 2 is F, and -4, 1 is G. Okay, so we're gonna move this 5 units to the right. So I personally like to do it on the graph, but there's another way you can do this. When you are shifting something to the right, okay, what you're doing is you're affecting your X value. Okay, so you're going to add 5 units. Okay, so -5 plus 5 is going to give us 0, 5. Okay, again, another way to do this is to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be my new point. Okay, on E, we've got -2, 4. So we're going to add 5 to this X value. So that's going to give me 3, 4. Again, you can just go over 1, 2, 4, 5, and that's going to be a new point. I'm going to use another color. Okay, F, I'm going to move it over 5 units. So that's going to be 4, 2. I apologize for that handwriting. It's just so tiny. 4, 2. 1, 2, 4, 5. That's F. And then G, you're moving it over. So that's going to be right here. Best way to check this is when you draw the little shape, like when you write out everything and you draw the points and you connect the lines. If the lines look a little off, like it doesn't look like the shape from the original, you probably did something wrong. Okay, so really quick, want to just have a conversation about pre-image and post-image. Okay, so what that is like, for instance, I told you A is the pre-image. Post-image is A prime, and that's actually how you read it. So it's like a little hash mark up at the top, okay? Or it's not A to the first power, it's just like a little accent mark, okay? So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna translate 4 units right and 5 units up. So you can do 2 things to it now, all right? So go ahead and pause the video and identify these coordinate points, and then we're going to move that stuff. All right, so hopefully these are the points that you got. And then now we're going to actually move it 4 units to the right and 5 units up. I would suggest doing this on a graph. It's just gonna make it a little easier. But if you didn't have a graph, you could do it just adding it, okay? So for H, we're gonna go 4 units right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. Okay, for J, we're gonna move it 4 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna move it 5 units up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. J prime. Okay, we're gonna move it 4 units to the left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and L, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And M, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, again, this is really easy when they give you a graph, but sometimes they don't do that. Okay, so another way you could do this is you could say -3 plus 4, because we're moving to the right. Okay, so that's going to give us 1, and -1 plus 5. That's going to give us 4. And look at where H is located, 1, 4. Okay, so now we're going to list out those coordinates. This will be 3, 2. K will be 2, -1. And notice how I always start with my pin at the 0, 0. So if you struggle with coordinates, start at 0, 0. Do you go left or right? And then do you go up or down? So in this case, we don't move left and right. So that first X value is going to be 0. And then we're going to move down -1. M, we're going to the left 1, up 2. All right. So next thing that's really important is your translation function rule. So for instance, over here, we said translate 6 units down. So we know that coordinate points are written out as X comma Y. So if we're saying 6 units down, then what we're saying is take your X, leave it alone, and take Y and move it 6 units down. Okay. For translate 5 units right, we're moving the X value to the right. Okay, so we're going to take X plus 5 and we're leaving our Y alone. Can you write the last one? Okay, so we're going to go 4 units right and 5 units up. Ta-da! Okay. And if I'm going too fast in the video, obviously you pause it, go back, etc. Make sure that you are writing this information down because you are going to need it for later on. Okay. All right. So which point is the image of point A under X plus 5, comma, Y plus 1? So what is this actually saying? Well, this is saying move it 5 units up, 5 units to the right. Just kidding. It doesn't want to draw. We're going 5 units to the 5 units to the right. I'm struggling. So sorry. One more time. 5 units to the right and 1 up. Okay, so which one of these is A, move that way? So we're going to go over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. So B would be that image. Okay, which point is the image of point C under X minus 2, Y minus 2? So you want to start with C this time. Okay, so we're here. And we're going to go left 2 and down 2. And that is D. Now, this is a little new notation. This is saying take point E, so we're starting here, okay? And this is saying move 5 units to the right and 3 units up. That's what this is saying. It's just a fancy way of saying that. All right, so 5 units to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 units up, 1, 2, 3, and that's point C. Okay, you got to know how to read that like fancy notation. All right, here's an important term. A directed line segment can be used to help us model the direction and length of any given translation. For example, in the diagram below, triangle ABC is translated using the directed line segment DE to A prime, B prime, C prime. So this line right here is the direction and how far those points are moving. So from here to here, it's 3.5. From here to here, it's 3.5. From here to here, it's 3.5, and in the same direction. Okay, so it's just moving something a certain amount of units distance wise. Okay, I would definitely write down that. All right, so let's take a look at this. So it says, okay, match the directed line segment with the image of the polygon P being transformed to polygon Q by translation by that directed line segment. Okay, so we're looking at the ones down at the bottom, okay, and we're trying to match those up. I'm gonna see if I can actually move these. I can. There we go. Okay, so let's see if they overlay. No, they don't. Darn. That was gonna be cool. Guess not. Give me 1 second. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how they shifted, okay, and how far they shifted, because each one of these like links is different. Okay, so we want to go from P to Q. Okay, so let's start with this first image. This one's going to the right. Okay, so we already know it's not going to be A. Okay, it's also kind of like to the side. Okay, so it's either going to be U or V, and it's a pretty good distance. So from this point to this point, it's a long distance, here to here, or from here to here. So that would be this U line. Okay. All right. Looking at translation 2. I know that might have been a little confusing. So we wanted to start from P and move it to Q. So P to Q. Well, which one of these looks like that? Well, that's like A, right? Okay, from P to Q. It kind of moved at like a horizontal, well, not horizontal, downward shift. So that one's going to be W. And then from here to here, that one is going to be V. Okay, so notice how we start and move in a specific direction, and the length also determines how far we moved. Okay. Okay, lots of dots. Yay. Okay, after translation, the image of V is W. Okay, there's a lot of letters. Here we go. Nope. Yo, Zoom is doing the most today. Okay, so after translation, the image of V is W. So we went from here to here. Find at least 3 other points that are taken to a labeled point by that translation. Okay, so I know we're not on a grid, but let's kind of like look at what happened. So we went up and to the right a some amount. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to find 2 points that did the same thing. Okay, so for instance, if I took Z, which points on here did I go up and to the right the same distance roughly as from V to W? That would be Y from Z to Y. Okay. Another one might be like T to P. And again, we don't know if it's exact just because it's not on a grid, but it's okay. Okay, see if you can label any others. There are a couple more that are like in here somewhere. Okay, so like K to G and I maybe, and U to R. Okay, you just want it to be about the same distance. we're gonna write at least one conjecture about the translations. Okay, so what that means. All right, so what that means is like actually writing this out in that like x plus something notation. Okay, so what I mean is we moved up a certain amount and to the right a certain amount. Okay, so we went up a certain amount and to the right a certain amount. I'm sorry, up. This is up. This is to the right. Okay. Your left, right comes first, and then your up, down comes second. Okay. In a new translation, the image of V is Z. Okay, so we went from V to Z. Oh, Lord. Find at least 3 other points. Let's do that. So let's start with a clean slate. Let's look at the color. Okay. So we go from V to Z. So here to here. That's a big drop. So we went down and to the right. Okay, so let's take G. We went down and to the right. Okay, so from G to M, maybe, or from B to J, or from trying to see if there's any others I can see right off the bat. You might be able to see that one's a little too far. That might not count. Okay. But basically, you just need to have the same kind of like movement. So again, if we're going to write a conjecture, we went to the right some units, and then we went down some units. Remember, that's going to be a minus, right? Okay, now the reason why I'm putting like a question mark and this little asterisk right here is because we don't know how many units it is. Like we could make up a number if we wanted to. Okay. All right, so Christopher was asked to solve the following question below. Review Christopher's work. Do you agree or disagree with Christopher's answer? Explain why you agree or disagree. If you disagree, correct Christopher's work. So I would suggest pausing the video and just kind of going over this question and then resuming the video after. So it says triangle RST has vertices. Now vertices are points. That's just a fancy word to say, hey, they got points that connect. What is the resulting image S prime after vertical translation of 2 units down and a horizontal translation of 4 units to the right? So Chris said, take your S and do 2 units down, 4 units to the right. So he said 3 minus 2 and 4 plus 4. Well, where did Chris mess up? Well, Chris didn't realize that your X is the first thing. And this is X minus 2. That's not right because it said a vertical translation. That's dealing with up and down. Chris should have written it as, Chris was trying to mess me up. He's trying to make me trip. It should have been X plus 4 and Y minus 2. So if he took S, what he should have done is he should have said 3 comma 4, and 3 plus 4 is going to give me 7, and 4 minus 2 is going to give me 2. And that should have been his answer. So I disagree with Chris because he done messed up. Okay. All right. Okay, so again, if you didn't watch the video from yesterday, or if you have questions on the video from yesterday, just send me a message on Remind. I posted a Remind code on your eClass page. So all I need you to do today, like turning in wise, is, all right, we took all those notes. If you didn't take notes, you need to make sure you did that. Okay, and then you need to finish this Desmos activity. Okay. All right. Y'all have a fantastic day.